And howdy, howdy, howdy. How is everybody doing tonight? Thank you for joining us tonight. Tonight we have a very special live stream going on. We have a lot of really good friends of the channel, and we're always happy to have them back on and talk about new things that they're doing. And one of them who never disappoints is our dear old friend, Nasty Nathanial. And he's just gotten back to the United States here in the last week or so from a trip over across the pond to the United Kingdom. And he's been doing some nastiness over there, getting himself in a lot of attention going for him and everything. So let's see who all we got up in here tonight. We got Katie Kidman, Xander Beaverhouse, Kiss 78, Laura Waldy, Lisa Robinson, Joe Gerst, Mischief Managed, Andrew B. Olson, Susan P. Gnomestead, all the way from Alaska's in the house. All right, Nisa. Oh, wait a minute. There's some dude named Clearwater Chad here. I thought we had a restraining order against that guy, but I guess we'll do what we have to. And Chris on the drums, how you doing? So you know how it is. It's a Sunday night. You know that we got a certain way we do things around here. Before we get much further into it, let's bring in our old pal, Clearwater Chad. How we doing, brother?
Good. How you doing, John?
A little bit under the weather, but I'm hanging in there for now. I'll be able to make it through the live stream, and then I'm going to crash out after. So how you doing tonight?
Oh, pretty good. Pretty good. The weather's kind of getting to me too, but it's good,
Oh yeah. So you were expecting some pretty big snow coming in here in the next week.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get about the pretty similar weather, John.
Yeah.
I think we're getting for us. I believe it's Wednesday.
It's supposed to be coming in pretty heavy. I was watching some reports, and it's supposed to be some heavy stuff. You guys get hit with that lake effect a lot worse than we do, though.
Absolutely.
So do you have a weather forecast for us?
I sure do. In
right.
Buffalo, it is 37 degrees, John. 30% precip. The wind's at 9, and Roscoe advises it's 81% humid, John.
Excellent. So have you been paying attention to what's been going on with some of the other channels as of late?
Like the anti-Scientology channels or the Dabbleverse channels?
Well, like our old pal Nasty Nathaniel.
Oh, I did. I won't say what happened, but I did watch one of his videos earlier. It was really good.
Yeah, he's got some good stuff out there. So folks, as the thumbnail and the title of tonight's video are live stream, we're bringing in our old pal Nasty Nathaniel, and as I said, just come back from a trip over there across the pond to the United Kingdom, and he got himself into some hijinks over there and made for some great content, but he has also claimed another couple of firsts. And I think that one of the big problems we have in the communities is that they don't recognize people on achievements like this. Nasty is without a doubt the first person to do auditing of Scientology. And tonight we're going to talk about another first that has come about through Nasty, and that is he was the first person to audit North Korean embassy in London, England. How we doing, Nasty?
Denver Metro Audits is a genius. How's it going?
Good.
I'm great.
Good.
How are you? Chad?
Good to see you.
Good to see you too, brother. Got my hair cut. Ooh.
So the big question everybody's got about your trip over there was, how are the British margaritas?
Well, the thing about England is that they're really stingy with the ice.
Oh.
Like, I don't know if you're familiar with that. Some people are. Like, ice just isn't really a thing over there. So, and here in the U.S., us Americans, we like our ice, with our cold beverages. So, like, for example, the airline that I've been flying the last time I went to England and also this time is an airline called North Atlantic Airways. It's actually a Norwegian airline.
Oh, wow.
And they offer, it's a budget airline. It's kind of like Europe's version of, Spirit or Frontier.
Okay.
And they offer phenomenally low fares, but you get a lot, it's a really, really good airline. Anyways, what I'm getting at is like one of the things I like is on the entertainment systems that's built into the back of all the seats.
Oh, you get those on theirs, huh?
You get those on there. Yeah, you ain't getting those on Spirit. You got to fly Delta for that. But
right.
you get those, and one of the things they do is, unlike on most airlines, let's say you want to order a drink, you got to get the flight attendant's attention, and hey, can I get a margarita? And where on there, the menu is right on the touchscreen, so you can and they have a whole section for cocktails. You can get a cosmopolitan, you can get a Manhattan, you can get a margarita, but they bring the margaritas in these little packets, and it's a sealed packet, and you open it and you just pour it into your cup. But they bring you like a cup, and it's got like one ice cube in it, and it's I don't know what it is. It's like England's just ice just isn't a thing. I mean, I guess what is ice scarce there? It's cold enough. I think things get frozen, but
it's kind of weird. Like over in Thailand and the Philippines, places like that, if you get a beer, it comes in a glass with ice.
Yeah. Same thing with the Philippines. Philippines is the same way.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing about it is that you're looking at, you have here in the United States, you put ice in a beer and you've pretty much committed sacrilege here. So, and then, and then it's almost exactly the opposite over there in the United Kingdom. Mm-hmm. They're not trying to put ice into anything. So now, how was the food over there?
That's my one kind of gripe about the UK. First of all, I just want to make it very clear. So far, I'm loving the UK. I haven't traveled a whole lot out of Greater London. This past trip I did, because I did St. Hill Manor, which is south of London. So I got out of London for a day. That was really cool. I'm loving it. London's like my new Manila. So far, I'm loving London. I'm loving the UK. But the one gripe that I will say is I haven't really had a good meal there yet.
Really?
Like I was staying at a bed and breakfast. I found a bed and breakfast that was a little bit out of the city, but there was a tube station that went there that was walking distance from it. So, took me like 20 minutes to get into the city. But I found this bed and breakfast that was really affordable. And the guy that was checking me in was telling me, yeah, there's a great fish and chip place just right down the street. And I was like, oh, yeah, I passed it on the way over here. He's like, yeah, they got the best fish and chips. I forget what the name of it. Anyway, so one of the nights, I was like, oh, I'll get some fish and chips. You're in England, you got to have fish and chips. Right. And I will say they gave me a lot of food. I mean, the portion was big, but it just was. And the fries were like really bland, and and the fish, I don't know, it wasn't. So that's my one gripe is the food wasn't. Sorry for all you Brits watching. I love your country, but you got to work on your food and ice. Yeah.
So all right. So now as we're I'm a fan. I love Great Britain, and I've had good times over there, especially in London. You got to do the Abbey Road and do the famous crosswalk over there and everything. What brought it to your attention about doing the audit of the North Korean embassy over there?
Good question. Well, for one, I've always been fascinated with audits of embassies and foreign consulates. Like, for example, I was the first auditor. You mentioned Scientology earlier. Thank you very much, Poe. Appreciate the recognition on that. But I was also the first one, in addition to being the first audit hotels and car dealerships. I was also the first auditor to do audits of foreign consulates.
Okay.
And in which, a foreign consulate is an extension of the embassy. So I did pretty much all of the foreign consulates in LA that have like their own building. Some of them are in high rises that you can't really like do an audit, but so those have always been really fascinating to me. The idea that you're auditing you're auditing a foreign country pretty much from foreign soil, and the responses are super mixed. For example, when I did the Saudi Arabian consulate in Los Angeles, they were kind of like, like they weren't too. The one guy was like kind of like, joking around with me a little bit. And then one of the security guards came out, but it wasn't really that. I don't think they were super, super alarmed. When I did the Iraqi consulate and also in Los Angeles, totally different ballpark. It's like going from Warner Brothers to Disney. I mean, it was just, and so, it was kind of the same thing. I don't want to give them all away, but because I've only posted 2, but it was kind of the same thing in England. The responses, like you saw at the North Korean embassy, and then the Iranian embassy. So, it's and so I just figured that London is the capital city, so that's where all the embassies are going to be, and not only that too. Like the North Korean embassy, same thing with the Iranian embassy. We don't have diplomatic relations with those countries, so there's no foreign consulates or embassies of those nations in the U.S. We don't have a North Korean embassy, we don't have an Iranian embassy, and it's the same thing. There's no U.S. embassy in Iran, there's no U.S. embassy in North Korea. So I thought, well, this is my opportunity to audit these embassies that I'm not going to get that opportunity to do that here. And I checked, and none of the UK auditors had done them. So I thought, well, those were kind of like high up on the list.
Yeah. Well, here's were you worried about potentially laws being different with them being consulates as compared to standard places? Now you've already done auditing in the UK, but were you worried about there being different laws and different things going on there that could affect whether or not you could be arrested or anything like that?
Well, I think the thing that, yes and no. It's just like any other audit. You stay on public property, out on the sidewalk, you're in the city of London. If you're on their property, you're suddenly in the Islamic Republic of Iran. So, it's kind of like, it's basically the same rules. Stay off the property and film from the sidewalk or the easement or whatever. And that's pretty much what I did. The thing you got to be careful of is and I'm not saying that this would happen, but like if one of those, I hear people make comments about like, well, an Iranian consulate official could come out and shoot you and go back in the embassy and he'd have diplomatic immunity, So, not that I'm worried about that happening, but, if there was an altercation, if somebody came out and assaulted me or something like that, it could get tricky because, they've got diplomatic immunity. And similar thing happened when that security guard attacked me at the Guatemalan consulate in LA. That was several years ago. But, he ran back inside the consulate, and LAPD was finally able to get him to come out, but,
That's just, it's just, and that's one of the things when you told me that you're going to be doing these, that was something that I had in the back of my mind was, is there a potential that, there could be different laws because this is a diplomatic property and it's actually considered, property of a different country. I was wondering, as we talked about when, we were talking about Johnny Somali and what he's doing over there in South Korea, one of the things that I worried about it was, is there are different laws in different countries, and there may be something that we hadn't even thought about because they have their own different laws pertaining to what you can and can't do when it's auditing something that's a foreign dignity, or entity. And those were the things that were going through my head. Thinking about that, like, here in the United States, Lord, we could literally be at war with another country and, you can go around with waving the flag and everything like that of the country that we're at war with, and it's covered under freedom of speech. Whereas other countries don't, may not respect that. And that was one of the things I was worried about when you said you're going to do those. So.
Yeah. It is something to think about, but it's not, well, that's an understatement, but it's pretty much, my whole thought on it was just, same thing with like auditing Scientology, stay on public property and, they can whine all they want and the response is either going to come or it's not going to come. And, it always came.
There you go. Yeah, and which one got quicker response, the North Korean or the Iranian?
Well, one of the things that was interesting about the Iranian embassy, unlike the North Korean embassy, was the Iranian embassy, and I noticed this the moment I got there, they had 2 London Metropolitan Police officers posted outside.
Okay.
And during my conversation with that nice lady officer, or excuse me, constable, they call them constables there, she was telling me that, like, for example, there at the Iranian embassy, there's always 2 Met cops posted outside.
Wow.
It's just, and there's, well, the American embassy was, because my first trip there, I audited the U.S. embassy. And they had Met police there. Now the U.S. embassy is a huge compound, a lot bigger than the Iranian embassy. But yeah, that's one of the things she was telling me. Is she said, like, at the Iranian embassy, there's always 2 Met cops posted up outside, so they were already there,
Right.
So the response came pretty quickly. But the North Korean embassy, they came fast too. I mean, there was actually they all came really fast. Saudi Arabian embassy was the same thing. I mean, they showed up really, really quick. I mean,
it's pretty
not like LA.
It's pretty interesting how these diplomats view themselves as though they are, so almighty and important, and that, all they've got to do is pick up a phone and suddenly they're getting this huge response, and and it's all coming at taxpayer expenses.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So. Well, and like at the North Korean embassy, the dude lied and said that I went on the property. He was telling those Met cops that I went inside the gate, which was a lie. And that's why I told the one, I said, look, they got cameras all over this facility. If I had came on their property, they'd have me on camera doing it. And I've been recording the whole time as well. So that's just an absolute lie, and there's proof that it's a lie.
Yeah.
And I think they, obviously they didn't push it at that point.
I think that, it goes without question. I mean, we see how, they think Kim Jong-un can, that he's a living deity on Earth, so it's, I mean, if they're willing to, delude themselves into that belief, then they're willing to go with somebody that's unimportant to them. They're willing to lie about that too, so I wouldn't be surprised by that.
Mm-hmm.
Same here.
Hey, the North Koreans and the Scientologists should get together. They both like to lie. They're both professional liars. So.
That's true.
I did a live stream last night about all the drones in New York and New Jersey and all that. And one of the things that people were talking about was the fact that, is this Xenu coming back to claim all of his Scientologists? So it's been, it's pretty interesting how things are segueing between Scientology and these different things going on. So,
yeah, it's not going to be long before Scientology opens up an ideal org in Pyongyang.
Let's see. So what I want to do is I was going to go ahead and play your audit from your channel there, and just and as we go along, we'll stop every once in a while and you can explain what's going on. And you want to lead us into what we're going to be seeing right off the bat?
Well, I guess something I'd like to point out is that a lot of people were commenting how it looks like a house, and it is a house. I mean, well, it's the embassy of North Korea, but it's actually it's a 7-bedroom home that's in a residential neighborhood. It was purchased by the North Korean government in 2003 for 1.3 million pounds. Wow. And unlike the other embassies, this one is in a residential area, far out of like the city center. So it's the only embassy that's like that. That's kind of what makes it kind of stand out.
Well, I've got it pulled up on Google Maps here, and so we'll go ahead and take a look at that first, so everybody can take a look there and see what it is. And literally, it looks like, like you said, it looks like it's just a house there. And here it is directly in front of us. This is from Google Street View.
Right on the corner there.
it looks like every other house on that block. Now, are there any other official houses there, or is that just the only one?
No, that's it. I mean, that's a residential area. I mean, those people those homes that are next to it are regular homes. Those are regular family homes. And I was reading, before I went over there to do it, I was doing some research about it, seeing if there was any kind of important events that have taken place there. And I believe it was, I think they said it was 2019 that they opened their doors to the public for the first time. And
Really?
what it was they were having a art show of some North Korean artists, or some paintings by some North Korean artists that they had on display in the embassy. And they opened it's the only time they've ever done this, where they actually allowed the public to go in and view these art exhibits.
Okay.
So
Well, think about being one of those neighbors there. You got your family's living there. You think you're finally stepping up and things are going great in the world, and then all of a sudden you get a new neighbor next to you there, and it turns out that it's the North Korean embassy is opening up next to you. And I've got the map here so we can take a look and see. I mean, so where would London Central be on this map?
Well, see right to the I'm looking at it from where I'm looking at it. You look to the right, and you can see that's more like, city of Westminster. That's like more like central London.
Okay.
Where this
where Tower Bridge and all that is over. You got the British Museum right above where it says London. Then you got the Tower Bridge right next to it. Would that be considered more of the city center kind of area there?
Yeah, we're over where the North Korean embassy is. That area is called Ealing. So that's and like I said, it's mostly residential, and there's nothing really. I mean, there was a park nearby, but
let's see here.
So you can see it's kind of a ways from like the city center.
Yeah, it's showing it's about 9 miles away from the from the British Museum right there. So that's like you said, that's not city center. That's a little ways out there. So I'm just curious as to why they would put their embassies so far out like that instead of having it more in a downtown area. But
well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you've heard, but the regime is supposedly going bankrupt. So maybe they couldn't afford a nicer facility in the city. Maybe they had to go out more in the suburbs to get a better deal. I don't know. Well, it is strange though.
If Kim Jong-un didn't have like 15 houses, maybe they could afford
it.
Yeah, and like 100, luxury cars, and yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So we're going to pull yours up. You want to give us an intro into what we're going to be seeing here?
Just the typical Nasty Nathaniel intro, and yeah, I mean, I think the only thing that's different about it is it's the North Korean embassy and it's in England.
Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead and stop. Just let me know any point where you want me to stop. If you want to talk about something, and of course I'll pause it and we can talk about certain points as we go as well. So,
all right, let's do it.
Wait a minute. Do we get an all right on this one?
Well, you'll just have to watch and see.
Cam back.
So who is this guy?
That's just my little traditional teaser clip. Okay. That's actually at the Canadian embassy.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, you can kind of see the sign in the background. It says Canada, but that was the Canadian
I see above the door there. Yeah. Yeah, I was just wondering. Mr. Clean looks like he's awful intent in what he's doing there, doesn't he?
Yeah, and Katie Kidman's a legend too.
There you go. Oh,
that was heavy.
I'm gonna go ahead and read this to everybody. Freedom to photograph and film in the United Kingdom. Members of the public and the media do not need a permit to film or photograph in public places, and police have no power to stop them filming or photographing incidents or police personnel. You got kind of fancy on this one, though, didn't you?
Yeah, that's my little UK intro, just to kind of, because you get these people that'll go, "There's no First Amendment in the United Kingdom." It's like, well, they have their own version of it.
Yeah, because they don't have a constitution. So, it's kind of hard to have a First Amendment there if you don't have a constitution to have an amendment too. So it's, kind of double speak on their part.
All right.
That's what I was waiting
Nancy Nathanial out here in Greater London. And right now I'm going to be conducting a British audit of the North Korean embassy. Yeah. We're going to make sure that our friends at the People's Democratic Republic of North Korea respect and honor my rights under British law to take photos and videos from a public space.
Now, one of the questions I got, you see the posts there in the ground. Of course, those are to stop vehicles from getting to the property. But now, does it still hold the sidewalk around there in between the posts and their wall? Is that still considered public space there? Okay.
I believe so, because I saw people like walking right in front of it and people riding bicycles. So,
right. I just wanted to make sure, because you know how some of these folks get, they seem to think that the sidewalk in front of their property is theirs too, and especially if we're talking about the North Koreans, you'd definitely have to think that. So, it's
it's a good question.
Got to be careful with it,
And hopefully good old Kim will approve of this audit. So I was reading something that was kind of interesting, and the former ambassador, prior to 2016, actually defected, and his name was, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name right.
I couldn't pronounce his name.
Defected,
there you go. Okay, I'm counting right now, and I've seen at least 5 cameras so far. So it's not like they don't have security cameras all over that place. That one corner there had 3 cameras on it alone. And then up there at the peak on this right side of the building, up there on the peak, you could see a little camera mounted up there as well. But I'm looking above that doorway there. It looks like they're not keeping up their property very well, are they?
No, it's kind of raggedy.
Yeah. And that's supposed to be a consulate, huh? So, all right.
It was said that leader Kim Jong-un.
Is it 73 or is that 13?
It's 73.
Oh, man. I was like, oh, that would have been perfect.
People thought it was, it's not 13. It looks like 13, but.
My goodness, look at the awning there. You couldn't see it because the way that you panned it was so high up. But look at those corners, how they're literally just tearing away.
Yeah, they're definitely not doing a lot of upkeep on it. Yeah, I noticed that too when I was there. It just didn't seem like. But you know what's funny? It's funny you bring that up, because when I first showed up, I didn't put this in the video just because there was, first of all, there was a lady, an adult lady,
right,
and 2 young people. And when I say young people, like non-adults. Right. That were out in the yard, like working. It looked like they were like, I don't know if they were pulling weeds or whatever the hell they were doing. And as soon as they saw me, they just went in. They didn't make contact. There was like no interaction, but they just went inside. And the reason I didn't put that in, I mean, I still have that footage, but the reason I didn't put that in the video is like I said, for one, they didn't make any contact with me, and 2, they looked young. And I understand people say, yeah, it's not a crime to film minors in public. I get that. However, this is North Korea. This is an embassy audit. It's like, I don't want to deal with, it just, I'm sensitive about that when it comes to like filming minors. It's one thing if somebody comes out and makes contact me and they're stupid enough to bring their kid with them, then I can, blur the kid's face or whatever. Right. But like, I don't want to deal with that, so.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's, I mean, it's just a matter of respect, it's not the children's choice to be there. They're there in that situation and they're just having to deal with the cards they're dealt. So it's just you being respectful of these children. I understand that 100%. Yeah, I mean, if they had turned around and come out and brought the kids with them, then that'd be a different story altogether. But yeah, I'm just really surprised that this consulate, how poorly it looks. I mean, I've been to the U.S. consulate in Thailand, I've been to the one in the Philippines, and they don't look anything near this. They are very nicely kept, and they're very open looking kind of situations. They look really nice, but this just looks like, I mean, it's almost like watching that show The Young Ones from back in the 80s from London. It's one of those houses where it looks like it's ready to fall apart on itself. So
yeah, it looks like it could be like a brothel in Mumbai, India.
there you go. My goodness. All right, so let's see what we got. How long did it take them before anybody came out on you here?
like maybe like 5 minutes.
Really?
I mean, it was fast. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I figured you probably edited a little bit quicker into that after you'd done the initial pan from the outside and everything.
Yeah, 5 minutes. It was quick.
Okay. Well, let's see how this goes.
Following the defection, actually ordered the execution of some officials for not doing enough to prevent his defection. So I don't know. Hopefully he's living it up, drinking margaritas at the Soul Bar.
And that's actually a real place.
I've noticed
really?
Since I got here,
yeah,
which was only a couple minutes ago, is that they aren't flying the North Korean flag.
Well, that's
we
interesting.
got a flagpole with no flag on it. I guess, what, are they not patriotic here?
Maybe they couldn't afford one.
That I was able to pull up,
if you want to pause it real quick.
North Korean flag.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you look at some, I don't know if you still have the Google images pulled up, but if you look at like some Google like Street View images of that place, you'll see they're flying the North Korean flag.
Okay.
So, like I said in my narration, maybe they had to send it off to the laundromat. Maybe it had some poop stains on it or something.
Hold on a second. I got. Let me see here. Yeah, there's a couple of good ones there where they're actually flying the flag open up on the pole out there. That's really interesting that they would do that. I'm not gonna pull it up right now because I don't want to close out the screen on the video there. But yeah, it's you would figure that they would have that flag flying nice and proud out there for everybody. So, but then again, it could be some kind of holiday or some kind of national day there for the Korean people, and they. Some kind of remembrance or something like that. So,
well, something I was thinking of, I mean, obviously none of us will probably ever know, but I was thinking too, like maybe they stopped flying it. Maybe they're trying to be more like discreet, maybe they don't want people to know that. Cause like I did read of an incident. I talk about this in the video where there was, a bomb scare, like somebody like showed up and dropped off a package that turned out to be nothing, but the London Metropolitan Police had to send out their bomb squad, and they ended up having to do like a controlled explosion, and it turned out to be nothing.
They just probably weren't used to Amazon delivery, so
yeah, but I think they have UPS in North Korea, but no.
Oh wow, I wouldn't be surprised. They're pretty much everywhere. So that Temu and Lazada and all those. So
DHL, yeah.
It's crazy.
But I don't see it today. I don't know. Maybe the flag got a little dirty. Maybe it's got some poop stains on it, and they send it off to the laundromat to get cleaned. Hi.
There we go.
What? What was that? I can't hear you. What are you saying? Turn off? No, I'm not going to turn it off.
Taking picture without permission.
I don't need your permission.
Why?
Because I'm not on your property. Who are you going
I'll
to
show
call?
you.
But he's not happy.
Church of Scientology?
So does everybody have to have that same haircut?
All right, yeah. All right, so
I think they have 8 different or 12 different haircuts they could have.
For the North Korean mafia or whoever
1,
they're
2,
calling
3.
to show up.
Wow, look at all those
I'll tell
cameras.
you a little bit about this location. It's a 7-bedroom home that was purchased by the North Korean government in 2003 for 1.3 million pounds. And unlike a lot of the other embassies here in London, this one's actually in a residential area. It's not a lot of the foreign embassies are further into the city, where this one is a bit more suburban. It's a pretty nice home. It's typical of a British household.
They got a couple of decent looking Mercedes parked there, don't they?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now,
Yeah.
of course, we've got like tariffs and stuff like that here in the U.S. for them. What kind of prices are they similar priced over there in Great Britain, or the lower priced? Were you able to look into anything like that?
Well, the biggest thing with the UK, and part of what makes things kind of a little bit more expensive for us, is that the dollar is not as strong as the pound.
Right.
I think for every US dollar you get like 67, 0.067 pounds or something. It's like,
right.
So it's not an equal,
I'm wondering if they would even have to pay tariffs or anything like that, or taxes, being a foreign diplomatic agency there.
Probably not. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I would think
that'd be something different. But of course, you got millions of people starving in your country, but you got to have two nice Mercedes sitting there in the British embassy. So that's real nice of them.
Well, I mean, like, household, as far as like, I don't know if they're like, cooking fish and chips in there, but I mean, as far as like the architecture, one of the things that's neat about here is that you still see a lot of old buildings, a lot of old homes, unlike in LA where, something's 30 years old and they want to tear it down.
Yeah.
So this is, but this home actually.
I'm really digging the antenna on top of that, on top of the
chimney.
Yeah. I mean, goodness, it's like we're looking at something from the 70s or 80s there with that kind of antenna up there.
Well, it's like a lot of homes now don't even have chimneys. So it's like,
yeah,
that's just not even a thing anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you specifically have to have like a fireplace or something like that to get a chimney nowadays. Our house has one, but with the furnace and everything, that all vents out through some little tiny tube sticking out of the side of the house.
Yeah.
So, goodness.
Was actually subjected to a bomb scare, actually. And I believe they said it was in 2017. I read where there was a suspicious package that showed up here at the embassy, and the Metropolitan Police had to come out and end up doing a controlled explosion. And the thing turned out to be nothing. It was non-lethal. I don't know what was in it. Maybe a porno or something. But anyway, somebody played a prank on him. Somebody got him. But I'm not here to, cause any destruction. I'm here to see if the people at the North Korean embassy will respect my right to record in public. Because if they don't, well, I might have to spank their booties.
You come up with these things.
I want to go back and pause that and take a look at Kim Jong-un getting a spanking.
Oh, is that
Who's that giving him a spanking?
Well, at least you left his, the triple chin he's got going there with it. So, wonder what he's thinking about this.
You know what? And I know people are going to like shake their heads when I say that, but if you look at pictures of him when he was younger, and when I say younger, I'm talking like when he first assumed control of the country after his father passed in 2011. I mean, he was a good-looking guy. I mean, I know neither one of you are gay, but But he was good looking, he was. At least I thought he was handsome. I mean,
he certainly packed on the pounds here as of late. So
fast. I mean, he gained weight fast. I mean, but no, he was a really handsome fellow when he was younger. But
I heard he played a lot of basketball in college too when he was in Switzerland.
Yeah, he went to school in Switzerland, and if you, I don't know where I saw it. I think it was on like 60 Minutes Australia or something, where they actually people that I think it was a professor that had him in his class or something was saying that he was a really sweet kid and was very mannered and sounds like a nice guy.
To turn into the monster that he is now. That's really interesting.
Yeah, he's like the Michael Corleone of North Korea.
There you go. Yeah. All right. So I'm surprised he didn't come up lights and sirens.
No.
And
All
just
right, we
one
got the
car?
Met police on the scene. Well, that was quick.
Another one showed up later.
That didn't take long
Okay,
at
I see
all.
another one back there.
Hopefully they won't. I won't end up in a British jail. All right,
The Metropolitan Police driving Toyotas, huh?
Yeah,
Nice.
station wagon.
Yeah.
Probably a hybrid.
Yeah.
All right, well, so let's wish me luck, folks.
Well, they drove those diesels
If
for
anybody
how
can
long?
let Pugface Media know I'm live, I might need a lawyer. See if he makes contact.
Look, she's running.
Yeah, I saw that.
So
She's
got
jogging
two,
right up there, huh?
She looks like she's
Please.
hyperventilating.
Yeah. I want.
He's gonna talk
Oh.
they're going to talk to the North Korean guy there.
They're not gonna. Are they gonna let them in?
So hopefully they'll educate him and let him know that what I'm doing is perfectly legal.
Now, most of
We'll
their
see.
officers aren't armed there, are they?
No, none of them. Well, the only ones that are armed is they have to, if there's an incident that requires like
Firearm.
some kind of special response, they have to call out what's called a firearms unit. But your average patrol cops like these, I mean, they're not packing.
Yeah, they got tasers and pepper spray, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and a baton, you know.
Yeah.
And,
They wouldn't
Yeah.
cut it in Detroit, would it, Bo?
No.
Well, that was quick.
Yeah.
Hi.
You all right?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
What are you doing to it, sir?
Just doing a video about the embassy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Obviously, I think they're considering it as a security risk because the people going into work and you're filming their faces.
No, I never got in anybody's face. I've been on public property the whole time.
And I know, but you're filming their faces, aren't you? You can see their
Oh,
faces.
yeah.
Doing so from public view, you know.
You've been in there?
No, never went in there. That's a lie.
Okay, well that's what they've just told me.
Okay.
So,
See, you lied.
Yeah.
In the gate. Has actually gone through the gate.
I never went through the gate. The gate's been closed the whole time. There's no way.
They had to like pull him back.
Maybe you're like Kim Jong
How
Un
are you
and you
doing
can
today?
levitate in there.
I'm doing fine.
Is there a particular reason why you're filming?
I'm doing a story about the embassy, and I'm filming from public property. I mean, I know the rules. I know I can't go on their property or anything like that.
Right.
This is all visible from a public space, so,
Okay. Right.
you know,
Constable Reed.
You told us that you've been in that.
he's lying.
Okay.
Then they got cameras all over this facility, so if I'd gone on their property, I'd be on camera. So that's a lie.
It would have been good
I mean,
if one of them had
I do
said, "Can you
public
show us the
filming. I'm an
video of him
independent
coming on the
journalist, so I
property?"
know the rules. I know I can't go on
Yeah.
private property.
Hey, why didn't you give me one of those police patches while you were there?
Oh,
Do you want to tell me your name, sir?
I'd rather not. Yeah.
right away. They
I
want
find
the
it
name.
interesting. You see both of them turning on their cameras. You know, here in the U.S., most departments, the cameras are on from the minute that you start your shift, but it seems like they turned theirs on once they got there.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, with the guy there, he didn't turn his on until he came over to talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
So, that there's a little bit of break in their evidence right there. You know, who knows? You know, if this went to court. And, they could say anything and you're like, well, where's your proof of it? Where's your video of it? And they can't prove it because they don't have the video. It just doesn't make sense to me that they would be walking around like that. So I got to say those glasses are mighty fetching that she's wearing there, though.
She's very stylish.
Yeah.
And you know what that red thing is, right?
What is that, the mailbox?
That's a mailbox.
Yeah.
No.
Well, you could have been there dropping off mail,
Yeah.
filming yourself doing it. Wait a minute. Did you see the TARDIS while you were there?
The what?
The TARDIS?
No.
Doctor Who, the police call box?
No.
You weren't even looking, were you?
Ah.
I bet you didn't even go to the Harry Potter Cafe, did you?
No, but I went to the Harry Potter theater.
How was that?
Well, just the outside of it. I took a
Oh,
picture
okay.
of it. Yeah.
All right. Well, you could have gotten us, some any flavor beans or something while you're there, but you didn't care about none of us. It's all about nasty and what margaritas without
might
ice.
as well just be a Scientologist.
They look so dumbfounded, don't they?
He's like,
what do I do? Which way did he go, George?
I really don't think they knew what to do. I mean,
I actually haven't even. I've only been here about 10 minutes. Yeah, they came out and were hollering, and I tried to explain to them that I'm on public property. I can record. They didn't want to hear it, and they just went and called you guys. So
they can't even step
if they would
on
have
that
left me alone, I
property.
probably would have been gone by now. But here we are.
Now, did they still call the female officers WPC?
yeah, PC is
Police constable.
yeah, police
Okay.
constable.
I know it, and a lot of the older British stuff that we watch, the women police officers would call them WPCs. I was just wondering if they still do that with them.
Well, look at like one of the things that I've noticed about like look at their uniforms and look at the uniforms of like most police that you see here in this country, or at least here in California. I don't know about Michigan, but the police are like have just their uniforms almost look like combat outfits. I mean, it's so militaristic looking now, and I'm not saying that's a good or bad thing. I'm just saying it's an observation where you look at like the police over there, and it just seems like they adhere to a lot more tradition. Like their uniforms are more formal looking. They're more
Well, I think it depends on where you're at, because if you see the videos like where they do the King's Guard and all that, you see the police there are wearing the over the uniform vests and all that, like they do here in the United States. And then in other areas you'll see them like these two that are in more of a traditional type uniform. I think it also depends on the department. Some agencies do not allow their officers here in the US to wear those outside of the shirt vest setups, because they feel it is, like you said, it's very militant looking in the way that those things present themselves. So I think it's all dependent on the agency and where you're at as to whether or not they're going to be wearing those things.
It's probably so, because if you look at like those uniforms, to me, or at least I mean, when I was there, it to me it just seems a little less intimidating,
right? The biggest part for me, and I it's with the Canadian police as well, is the lack of badges. They're literally, they don't have a badge per se like we do here in the United States that they wear on their chest. They've got all the patches and everything that say police officer and all that. But here in the US, one of the big things is we all right on the front of our uniforms, we've all got our beautiful badges sitting there. So that's
this looks like name tags.
Yeah. They honestly, they look like a lot of the security officers we have here in the United States, with the way that they're not wearing badges and all that. So and I don't know if that's just something that they've gone to keep it from being feeling too intimidating with the officers' look and the way that they're when they meet someone, or just how they've decided to do it differently. So
no, it's an interesting observation.
Let's see here. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Is he going to get in trouble for filming you?
It's okay for him to do it, but
I call him out on this right here.
I just heard you.
So it's okay for you to do it, but I can't? It's okay for you to record me, but I can't record you?
Ooh, did she touch him?
We got another unit here.
Oh, they brought paddy wagon for you. Yeah, see, he's got one of those carriers that he's wearing over his uniform shirt, as like we do here in the U.S. They use the,
all right, folks,
the white uniform shirt.
They've already lied, and they said I'm on their
property. See, that constable went inside.
So,
I mean, the way they're acting, I'd have been back the next day. Didn't like me? You didn't like me? How you like 2 days of it there, buddy? And what is it? All these guys with the shaved heads.
I'm not into shaved heads.
Is there anything particular that you're filming about?
It's an independent story I'm doing about the embassy.
Oh,
Just
okay.
getting shots and stuff, and they're coming out making a big fuss about it. So,
Okay.
you know,
What sort of journalist are you?
independent.
Just independent.
Yeah.
Okay.
A freelancer. Yeah.
Is it like on the internet and stuff?
Most likely, yeah, it will be.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty much where everybody is now.
And
I
just so
mean,
you know,
even
I'm just
the
recording for my
BBC's on
safety,
the
because
internet.
I've been assaulted in the past, not here, but you know,
Okay.
doing this kind of thing. So I record, I live stream just in case something happens.
Okay.
People know where I am and what's going on. So,
Okay.
you know, I'm not saying that you guys are going to do anything like that, but I'm just, you
No,
know,
we don't.
I've dealt with your officers or is it officer constables right,
Yeah.
in the past. You guys have normally been pretty professional, so you know, but you just never know.
We just need to get all the information, and in certain circumstances like this, we speak to our supervisors just to get a bit of advice on how to deal with it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
'Cause
Yeah,
obviously
they
they're
need all the
concerns,
information.
and we want to make sure
Yeah.
that everything that's been done is lawful and
Yeah.
things like that. Okay.
Now, did they make you show ID?
No, well, they asked for it, but I didn't You know, give if it. I'm not required to. I don't.
Okay.
She just asked right now.
Right.
Yeah,
I'd
they
have
asked
thought
like
of it.
3 times.
I'd thrown it right back in her face, been like, do I have to provide that or what? See what the response is, you know, because I know they're very conscious about being complained about.
Obviously, do you understand their concerns at all or not?
Huh?
Do you understand their concerns at all?
Yeah, I get it, but I think they also need to understand that, you know, out here they don't own the sidewalk. They can't control what happens on public property.
I know, but it might be considered. Because it's country diplomats, they might consider this like hostile reconnaissance or anything like that.
I mean, I filmed at a lot of embassies. You know, I filmed at the Iraqi embassy. I filmed at the Canadian embassy. You know, I mean,
All right.
you know, I know the rules. I mean, I'm not trying to suggest that you don't. I mean, you know, like I was telling you earlier, I've dealt with this department before. Most of you guys have been pretty professional, so, you know, all I would ask is since you're here, maybe just kind of educate them and let them know, well, hey, he's outside. There's, you know, this is public filming. There's nothing illegal about it. You know, they may not like it, but that doesn't. They don't get to control what happens out in public.
How
You know,
cold
we're
is
not
it?
in North
Because this
Korea
guy looks
or
like he's
out here, we're in the
shivering.
Kingdom, so. I'm not trying to be a smart ass. It was
It
was cold, but it wasn't like freezing cold. I mean, it wasn't like.
Stay out here today.
Well, I probably would have been gone, but now they're making. I mean, I'm not going to leave just because they tell me to leave. You know what I mean? I'm going to finish up what I'm doing, and then I'm not going to be here all day. I mean, I got other places to go. So
Now, who's this guy?
I'm not going to let him run me off. You know. He was one of the officers in the van that pulled.
Oh,
up.
okay.
There were 2 of them, so there's 4 altogether.
So, like, give us your name and details just so we can check who you are.
No, I'm not. I mean, if I'm not required to, I'd rather not. I mean, I'm not doing anything
There you
illegal.
go.
So I mean,
The only thing is they would appreciate it. You're more than welcome to film the building, but don't film their faces for whatever reason.
well, if they come out here and confront me, then yeah, I'm going to film their faces. But I'm not going to go in there and film. I'm not going to go.
You carry on. You have a good day.
Okay, thank you, sir. He kind of had an attitude.
He realized he didn't have a leg to stand on. And when you called him on it, you know, he's like, okay, fine, then I'm out of here. Bye. So
See, I thought the shaved head one was cool. Could you see him like nodding, like, yeah, you know, you're not doing anything. Like he knew, you know.
Yeah, he knew what was going on there. He's dealt with this before. He knows the law. And the other guy there who's like, well, we're just going to leave now. You know, he's one of those that I'm a cop. You got to do what I say. You got to do it how I say it. If you don't like it, too bad. That's the kind of attitude I get from him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, these guys, you know, but Mr. Clean there, he's pretty straight up about it. He knows what the rules are. He knows what the laws are. And he's not, you know, he's not going to sit there and violate your rights. So let's see what's good.
You know, he's probably like, I don't know, just the vibe that I got from him. I mean, he probably thought it was just a waste of time. Like, why did we have, we got 2 units, 4 officers or 4 constables total there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a waste of time, you know?
And it's interesting because even their patches say police officer, even though they're constables. So, you know, I noticed that, you know, she's like constable and you've been saying constable, but their patches right there on their chest say police officer. So I like how they've got the sign right there on the side of the van, CCTV fitted. So I mean, to think that they wouldn't have the cameras on the vehicles. We see the police cam stuff from the United Kingdom all the time. So all right, let's see how this wraps up.
Professional.
No worries. Have a good day.
Okay, thank you. Thank you guys for being professional. I appreciate it. So he's gonna whine. So yeah, they're still pushing the issue. Yeah, this isn't North Korea, people. So yeah, they're probably gonna put me on some North Korean hit list now. Watch, I'm gonna end up when I go through customs at the airport. They're probably gonna flag my name or something.
They got to know your name in the first place, though.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Mr. Clean seems like he's pretty cool.
All right. He's doing the North Korean walk of shame. Well,
They got to do one more thing about the faces.
We're going to leave now.
Okay.
I'm trying to get anyone's images.
what was that?
Trying to get everyone's faces or brother faces or anything like that.
Well, as long as they don't come out here and give me a hard time.
Leave it alone.
Okay, yeah, and I'm gonna get a few more shots. And I'm gonna be gone. I'm not gonna be here all day, you know.
Cool.
But
All right.
thank you, Constable.
Just said I'm gonna
Appreciate it.
set up a barbecue and we're gonna, just have a good time here.
Anybody's face. All right. Well, I would like to say pass for them, but I don't know. They were a little. They did try to push strikey and stuff like that. So
I'd say the police
I'm gonna wait for them to
half
leave. I'm not gonna
pass,
let
the
them leave
embassy
them
no
wrong or
pass.
anything like that. Yeah, this is why you need to go live, folks.
Yeah. Now, you didn't go live during that, did you?
Oh, I was live.
Oh, was you? Because
Yeah,
okay,
they were trying to push it,
because I didn't see it. It
They would've
must have
liked
been
to
in. Oh, that's
me
Diesel.
arrested.
I see that right there on the door. An odd spot to have the
They're
fuel
gonna
filling
take off.
cap.
That officer with the shaved head, I think he knew what time it was.
Yeah.
Yep, there we go. All right, so what do you think? Did the Met Police pass?
I'd say
they
half and half
fail?
on a
What do you
pass for
think?
them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this audit up. If you stuck around for the whole thing, you saw what happened. It didn't take long before they called the police, and they were trying to get me hemmed up. Yeah, definitely not a warm reception. I can't even pronounce words right, and I haven't even drank any margaritas yet. Not a warm reception from the North Korean government, but what else can we expect? Anyways, I'm definitely going to give the North Korean embassy a fail. They didn't respect my right to record in public. As far as the Met Police, I would like to say pass, but at the same time, they did try to get my name, and they did try to, they did seem like they wanted to do something, but I think in the end they knew they couldn't. So as far as the Met Police, I'll let you guys decide as to what you think the verdict should be with them. So I think I'm gonna call this a wrap. So Nancy and Nathaniel signing off. So until next time, may the audits or the North Korean margaritas be with you. Thanks for watching, everyone. Appreciate all the support.
So
You don't want to hear the cheesy music at the end? I mean,
well, but,
I'm just kidding.
Mr. Clean and the female, I think I give her a pass on it because I just don't think she knew what she was doing. The one gentleman who came up at the end with the beard and everything, he was definitely going to try to push his weight on that without having any authority to do so. But Mr. Clean, definitely a pass on that. So I can't blame him for trying to get you to ID yourself. I mean, I do it myself, and if you said no, okay, that's your right. But, I mean, they're going to try to do what they have to do on these things.
Well, the other thing that was annoying when they kept doing that whole thing about, just first it was like, well, don't film their faces. We'll try not to get their faces. It's like, that's what I told the guy. I said, if they don't come out and bother me, then I'm not going to get anybody's faces, but.
Yeah.
And like you said, it was okay. Sorry, it was okay for him to get your face, though, like you told him.
Yeah, it's okay for them to do it. It was just, it's I don't think they were real. The Met Police. I don't think they were really that bad, but at the same time, they were. I think it was more of a thing where, maybe those two officers or constables or whatever you want to call them, like maybe they just didn't. Maybe they've never dealt with a situation like that before. Maybe they just didn't, know. Okay, well, what to do.
Oh, okay, I see. And Rhonda's saying that lady police officers are still considered WPC, but not an official title. Our uniforms are definitely more traditional, could do with an update. There you go. So, yeah, it's there we go. Hot Fuzz was a great UK police film. So now, are we going to be able to get you back in a week or so to talk about your other big audit that you did over there?
Mm-hmm.
So, which you just released. Did you release that today or did you release that yesterday?
Well, the other one that had the big response, the one I put up today was the Iranian embassy. And that had a police response, but I wouldn't put it on the level of as the North Korean embassy. But the other one that has the really big response was the Saudi Arabian embassy.
Okay. Well, how about you want to come back next Sunday and we'll talk about the Saudi audit then?
Yeah, I should have it up by then. Yeah, because I think I'm planning on putting that one up next. So
Excellent.
I'll probably have it up probably by Friday, and then if you want to do it on Sunday, we can.
Yeah. So you got to get time for me to get in there, give it a thumbs up, and give it a legendary response. So
yeah. And from Clearwater, Chad too.
Yeah, I seen the one. I seen the one that dropped today. That was very nice. That one.
Yeah, she was a cutie pie.
Yeah, that's true.
But the thing is that I feel for the officers, because when you're talking about something on that level, you're talking about a diplomatic mission from another country that's there in your country. So it's going to be a real gray area as to what you can and can't do. Fortunately for us, here in the United States, it's pretty defined. There is a constitution and it defines how things are going to be. But again, like you said, we're talking about people who have diplomatic immunity. They could literally come out, kick the crap out of you, and go right back inside their embassy, and all said and done. So I really, just be careful. That's all. And I agree. Also, that the fact is that property there is actually considered North Korean soil there in the city of London. I've always had a hard time wrapping my head around it, but that's how it is.
No, that's exactly how it is, and people, really need to, a lot of people, it's foreign to people, it's like they should watch Red Corner with Richard Gere. They have a better idea of how embassies work.
Oh my gosh! Well, have you seen the one where there was a Chinese citizen who was in London, and he was harassing Hong Kong separationists who were calling for release of political prisoners in Hong Kong. And he actually, I think he threw a milkshake on them or something like that. And so they followed him, and he's on the phone with the Chinese embassy, and he's like, "What are you going to do for me?" And the embassy's like, "Nothing." And he's like, "The police are coming. Can I just come to the embassy?" "No, we're not going to do anything for you." So it's a weird time. I mean, the Chinese embassy won't even protect the Chinese citizens while they're there, but they're demanding all these rights and privileges. So it's weird.
Well, a lot of people think that if you get in trouble in a foreign country, you can just run to the embassy and seek refuge. And the thing that what a lot of people don't realize is most embassies, like that classic scene in Red Corner with Richard Gere where he's in Beijing and he's in custody because he's accused of murdering that call girl, and he escapes. He gets out and he takes off, and he's running through the streets of Beijing, and he just conveniently happens to be very close to the American embassy. And so he runs to the embassy, and it shows the Chinese police, they're chasing him, and he gets there, and he's the Marine, there's a Marine that lets him inside. Well, that's just Hollywood. But what most people don't realize is most embassies are guarded by local police or security forces. So, you can't, the first people you're going to encounter is local police from that country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not, you know, people think like, oh, it's going to be some Marine Guard. Yeah, maybe if you're in like Somalia or somewhere like that. But
Well,
you
they're
know,
all, you know, they're thinking like in the Born Identity, where he goes to the embassy there, and all you see are Marines and you know, U.S. Officials and all that. But in every country I've ever been to, they have local police or local security handles the exterior security, while the embassy staff are the ones, you know, got the Marines or whatever that handle the inside the walls security. So it's a different kind of thing. I don't think you know, I just think there's a lot of misconception about these things. So
yeah. So the first people you're going to have to get past are the local boys.
absolutely. And I mean, let's be honest. I mean, if he was in Beijing like that, and he had the, you know, the police were chasing him around Beijing, it would not have been as easy as they made it out in the movie. That's then again, that's why it is a movie. It's not a it's not real life. So I mean, you know, I mean, the biggest movies, you know, Wolverine and Deadpool, you know, so let's, you know, keep those things. And so you haven't been
Yentl with
invited,
Barbara Streisand.
you haven't been invited to go in the tank and sing Katy Perry songs? You feel like a plastic bag?
No, the I don't think they're really down with that at the Prince of Trek in Earl's Court.
Have you seen that movie, The Interview, with Seth Rogen and James Franco?
No,
Oh, you've got to see that. James Franco plays an American television host who gets invited to North Korea to interview Kim Jong-un.
Oh,
and it just the whole thing, it's hilarious. I think it's still on Netflix, so it's a hilarious movie. So
groovy.
all right, well, I am going to start wrapping us up here. What do we have in the future for travels for Nasty, or any special audits that you're planning on doing?
You know what? I guess we can talk more about this the next time I come on, or maybe next week when we do the Saudi Arabian audit. But I don't know. I don't know what's in store for Nasty Nathaniel as far as auditing. You know, could this be it for Nasty Nathaniel? Will there be more audits? You know what? I thought about, like, you know, if I was to retire from auditing now, my last audit would have been in England. Wouldn't that be Wouldn't that be ironic? Like, you know, if I said, hey, I'm done, I'm not going to do anymore. I'm not saying that's the case, but like my last audit wouldn't even have been in the United States. It would have been in the UK.
Well, but that would have been a touching ending to the career of Nasty, wouldn't it?
Yeah, St. Hill Manor, Scientology.
There you go. So, all right, sir. Chad, you got any parting thoughts for us?
Oh no, this was a legendary day with the legendary Nasty Nathaniel Poe, and you know, it was a pleasure to be part of it.
Excellent.
Yeah, thanks for being here, Chad. You know,
folks,
love the hair too.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, he's been working that pretty good. And folks, thank you all for being here. We appreciate each and every one of you. Hopefully you found this valuable and entertaining, and you've learned a little bit about how these things work. And, you know, as we've talked about in previous live streams, you just have to be aware of the laws in the countries that you're visiting, and what your rights are and what rights you don't have. You know, just because you're from the US or Canada, doesn't mean you carry those same rights wherever you go. And you have to be careful, and you have to educate yourself about it. And, you know, this is a perfect example of knowing the laws, knowing what your rights are, and what you can actually get in trouble for. And as always, thank you all for being here. And remember, life is short. You get one shot. Make it count.